Hi there, everyone. This is ABC 13 meteorologist Elyse Smith here. I'm at my desk in the weather office as I'm working on a different story for today, but I want to take a moment to talk to you about the polar vortex. Now, earlier this week, I did a story on the polar vortex as there's been a lot of misinformation going on online. So here's a quick refresher. Now, the polar vortex, it's a phenomenon that resides in the stratosphere in the Arctic Circle. That is 10 to 30 miles above the ground in the layer that's above the troposphere, which is where we live and where most weather resides. And naturally, in January and February, the polar vortex, which typically is a very strong circle in the Arctic Circle, it intensifies because the Arctic Circle doesn't see sunlight for weeks on end, and the polar vortex really acts as a barrier to keep that bitterly cold Arctic air in place in the Arctic Circle. However, the polar vortex can sometimes break down and change shape when we see something called sudden stratospheric warming. And that's a signal to us as forecasters that the polar vortex might take on a different shape, and that could allow for that bitterly cold air to spill into portions of North America, Europe, or even Russia. Now, here's the thing. Even if we were to see signs that there was sudden stratospheric warming occurring, that is never a guarantee that the polar vortex is actually going to reach us, impact us here in the United States. It's just a sign or signal. Furthermore, for the polar vortex to reach us here in Texas and in Houston, it takes a lot, but I know that's at the top of mind every single winter because of the February freeze of 2021. So at this moment, here's what we can say. When it comes to forecasting the polar vortex, it would take at least weeks of consistent computer model data and signs for us to even mention the polar vortex or a big cool down in the forecast. The earliest we might even do that, just a mention, would be 2 weeks away. And you know how quickly the weather can change here in Texas from day to day, week to week, month to month. So I have more information on the polar vortex posted to abc13.com. Feel free to check it out there. But at this moment, we do not have the polar vortex in the forecast for this month. I know things can change, but I just hope that eases your heart a little bit and clears the air.